Good afternoon, Ken Jolliffe with BIS Commodities here in Cedar Rapids with the weekly wrap-up for March 21st. Corn market this week, looking at the May futures, down about 7 cents versus a week ago. D's futures down about 2 cents from a week ago. Soybeans were up about 20 cents in the Mays, we're up 3 cents in the Novembers. The wheat market, we're up 6 cents in the May and 3 to 4 cents in the December. Futures-wise this week, very, very active. We saw the midweek rally in the soybean market based off some additional usage numbers. We took a look at the crush number last week, realized that even though it was down 15 million bushels from the January crush, if you look at the daily average use, it was still right at 5 million bushels. I think the market took a look at that come Tuesday. We had the funds come in there with it. We ran it back up above the $14 level. Thursday morning, we had some positive export numbers on beans once again, plus a strong meal sale. We took a run at the old high. We did fail up at that level, and then we saw some technical selling come into it here, yesterday afternoon and again today. Storyline of beans seems to be the same story we've talked about for what seems to be the past 3 months now. Everybody wants to walk in and see the USDA announce some cancellations during the 8 o'clock time frame. With on the Chinese business, we continue to be disappointed on that, and it seems like every time that happens, the algo computer boys walk in, and we do see the market trade firm as far as the spreads. The storyline continues, though, that it seems the Chinese are either canceling purchases out of South America, particularly Brazil, or they're pushing some of that business off into later this summer, early next fall. There's also rumors rolling around this week, that they are reselling some of those cargoes of beans out of Brazil up to U.S. crushers here in the United States. Whether they'll come into the southeast part of the country, or even there's been stories of possibly coming into the Louisiana ports and working up the rivers. So a lot of the same story. I think that's why we've seen this trading range in beans, particularly old crop beans, with this 50 to 60 cent swing that we've been looking at this week. New crop wise, it's been the lag of the spreads, one day up, one day down. The story in the beans there, I think more is as we come to naturally the end of the month and we take a look at the planted acres in the report. Corn market traded in a very narrow range, again the same range we've been in for the past week or so. Really the only news to say much about there is that we did see a sale here on Friday morning to Egypt for 340,000 metric tons of corn. That business usually goes to the Black Sea area ports of Ukraine. I'm sure that sale was naturally had gone through a U.S. commercial. It's on the U.S. books. It's probably more like a hedge for the Egyptian people to see where they are as far as can they get the corn out of the Ukraine ports. Do they have to come to America? That all depends on naturally the geopolitical issues that's going on over there as we move forward. Wheat market, had a big push midweek. A lot of short covering. I think we do see the funds being long wheat now. There's still some issues as far as possible dryness in the southwest part of the United States, i.e. plus the cold weather when you get into the northern states. So a little weather market involved in some of that too. I think moving into next week, the markets are becoming more and more focused on naturally the end of the month USDA stocks report and seedings report that we'll have on the 31st. Next week could be a week of just some more chopping around. Whatever headlines we see, the computers will pick it up and trade them. Maybe we're much more range bound next week in our markets than that we saw even this week. So livestock side of things here, we saw the cattle market, hog market, early part of the week push higher. New record highs in the hog market as we took the June contract up above 133. The latter part of the week, we did start seeing some technical profit taking in the hog market. to the point to where some of the bull spreads even backed off in that market also. Cash market continues to be very strong, but I think we got the futures market well overbought. Probably need to take a little bit of pause. That market, again, will be one of these that's going to be looking forward to reports. A week from today, we'll have the pig crop report. That'll be a very volatile report as we try to get caught up on just how the PEVS disease has affected our inventory of hogs out here. Cattle-wise, cash markets, kind of a thin trade this week in the cattle. Talk anywhere, pick your range between 147 and 152. Futures were mixed this week. The cattle on feed report this afternoon, as far as placements, were bigger than expected. Marketing was in line with expectations. The larger placements maybe will have a little bit of a negative effect as we come in here on Monday morning with our cattle to begin that trade with. So I think in general we're going to kind of sit back here and move it into next week. The weather as far as across the area that we're at here in the central part of the U.S. and the eastern part of the U.S., not very good next week, but as you take a look at the extended forecast here this afternoon, you can begin to see some of the weather patterns change as we get into the first part of April, to where we start seeing some warmth come back into the central part of the country. There is talk of rain, better rain possibilities in the southwest. All this will kind of materialize into the trade as we get ready to start again Monday morning. So, and with that, I'm sure your focus this weekend is going to be on basketball. Seems like we've already got some major upsets, with Duke getting kicked out here this afternoon. So enjoy your weekend.